Hey everyone, ever wondered how to outsmart your boss in a negotiation, win at Among Us, or even get your kids to clean their room without a fight? Welcome to The Art of Strategy by Avinash Dixit and Barry J. Nalebuff, a game changer that teaches you how to think like a master strategist using the science of game theory. I'm your host, and today we're diving into this epic book to unpack how you can make smarter decisions in business, life, and everything in between. This isn't just theory. It's a playbook for winning when other people's choices mess with your plans. So, grab a snack, hit that like button, and let's jump into the wild world of strategic thinking. Our journey follows the book's 3 parts. First, we'll lay the groundwork with the basics of game theory. Then, we'll level up with advanced tactics. And finally, we'll apply these ideas to real-world scenarios like auctions, bargaining, and even voting. Ready to become a strategic genius? Let's go. Part 1. Laying the foundations. Imagine you're in a high-stakes game. You pick a number between 1 and 100, and your opponent has to guess it. Sounds easy, right? But here's the twist. They're not just guessing. They're trying to outsmart you, and you're trying to outsmart them. Welcome to the world of strategy, where every move is a mind game. In Chapter 1, Dixit and Nalebuff kick things off with 10 unforgettable stories that show strategy in action, from reality TV to global politics. These tales are like the opening moves of a chess match, setting the stage for everything to come. Let's start with one of my favorites, the number picking game. If you choose a number like 50, your opponent might guess it right away, because it's obvious. But if you pick something like 48, you throw them off. Why? Because you're thinking about what they're thinking, and they're doing the same. This is the essence of strategy, getting inside your opponent's head and staying one step ahead. It's not just a game, it's a mental duel. Now, picture Richard Hatch on the reality show Survivor. He's not just a contestant. He's a strategic mastermind. In one challenge, Richard is up against his ally Rudy in a test of endurance. Stand on a pole under the blazing sun, and the last one standing wins immunity. Most players would grit their teeth and fight to win, but not Richard. He steps off the pole, losing on purpose. Why? Because he knows his rival, Kelly, will vote Rudy out if he's vulnerable, preserving Richard's alliance and boosting his odds of winning the $1 million. That's not just playing the game, that's rewriting the rules. Or take Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha. He once proposed a genius plan to fix campaign finance. He'd give $1 billion to the party that delivers the most votes for reform, if the bill fails. If both parties back the bill, no one gets the cash, but reform passes. If one party sabotages it, the other gets $1 billion. It's like a real-life Squid Game move, turning bitter rivals into reluctant teammates. This is strategy at its finest, using incentives to shape others' choices. Another tale takes us to sailboat racing. The leading boat doesn't innovate. It copies the trailing boat's moves to stay ahead. Why risk a bold tactic when mimicking keeps you in front? You see this in business, too, like when Coca-Cola and Pepsi shadow each other's marketing campaigns. The lesson? Sometimes, playing it safe is the smartest move, unless you're the underdog, ready to shake things up. And then there's the story of Martin Luther, the guy who sparked the Reformation. When he nailed his 95 Theses to a church door, he wasn't just preaching, he was making a stand. By refusing to back down, he forced the Catholic Church to deal with him on his terms. But the authors warn, this here I stand strategy can backfire. Take Ferdinand de Lesseps, who stubbornly pushed the Panama Canal project the wrong way and crashed hard. Inflexibility is a double-edged sword, so wield it wisely. These 10 tales, from weight loss bets to Cold War brinkmanship, show that strategy is everywhere. Whether you're closing a deal, planning a date, or surviving a reality show, thinking strategically gives you the edge. So what's your first move? Stick with me, and we'll find out. Ever watched a chess grandmaster stare at the board, calculating moves 10 steps ahead? That's backward reasoning, starting at the end of the game and working backward to your next move. In Chapter 2, Dixit and Nalebuff teach us how to think like a grandmaster, whether we're playing chess or planning our career. Let's try a game to see this in action. Picture a pile of 21 flags. You and a friend take turns removing 1, 2, or 3 flags, and the one who grabs the last flag wins. Sounds like luck, right? Nope, it's pure strategy. If you think backward, you realize the key is to leave 4 flags for your opponent. Why? They can take 1, 2, or 3, but never 4, so you'll always get the last one. By controlling the game's end, you control the outcome. Try this at your next game night, and watch your friend's jaws drop. This isn't just for board games. Remember Richard Hatch from Survivor? His decision to lose that endurance challenge was backward reasoning in action. He pictured the final tribal council, where votes decide the winner, and worked backward to see that keeping Rudy safe now meant a stronger alliance later. It's like solving a maze by starting at the exit. The authors use another example, a classic game called Take It or Leave It. Imagine you're splitting $100 with someone. You offer them $20, and they can accept or reject it. If they reject it, they offer you an amount, but the total shrinks to $80. Backward reasoning shows you'd accept anything above 0 in the second round, because something's better than nothing. Knowing this, they might reject your $20 and offer you $1, keeping $79. So, you adjust your first move, offering just enough to keep them happy, maybe $30. This is how you stay ahead in negotiations, from splitting pizza to splitting profits. In business, backward reasoning is gold. When Disney plans a new park, they don't just build rides. They imagine the guest experience years down the line and design backward to make it magical from day one. Whether you're plotting a startup or a family vacation, start with the end game and work back. It's like time traveling to victory. Now we're diving into one of game theory's juiciest puzzles, the prisoner's dilemma. Picture this. You and your partner in crime get nabbed for a prank. The cops separate you and offer a deal. Snitch, and you walk free while your buddy gets 3 years. Stay silent, and you both get a year. But if you both snitch, you both get 2 years. No talking, what do you do? Here's the rub. Snitching's the safe move. If your buddy stays quiet, you go free. If they snitch, you get 2 years instead of 3. Logic screams snitch. But if you both follow that logic, you both get 2 years. Worse than the 1 year you get if you both kept quiet. That's the prisoner's dilemma. What's best for you screws the team. This isn't just a thought experiment. It's everywhere. Take 2 rival coffee shops, like Starbucks and Costa. If both charge $5 for a latte, they rake in profits. But each might slash prices to $3 to steal customers, thinking, I'll make more if I undercut them. Result? Both earn less. Or think of the Cold War. The US and Russia could have disarmed, but fear of the other being armed kept piling up tanks and nukes. So, how do you break free? The authors say, think long term. If you're in a repeated game, like dealing with the same supplier every month, cooperation pays off. A strategy called tit for tat works wonders. Start by cooperating, then mirror what the other guy did last time. Cooperate, and you both win. Defect, and it's war. This strategy crushed it in game theory tournaments, proving nice guys can finish first if they're smart. Another fix? Change the game. Remember Buffett's campaign finance trick? He turned a dilemma into a win-win by dangling $1 billion, making cooperation the only sane choice. In your life, try this. Next time you're tempted to one-up a coworker, Think about building trust instead. Could a small gesture now lead to a big payoff later? Ever noticed how some situations feel settled? Like everyone's locked into their choice and nobody wants to budge? That's a Nash equilibrium, named after John Nash from A Beautiful Mind. In Chapter 4, we learn how to spot these stable points and use them to predict what people will do. Imagine you and a friend are trying to meet in New York City, but your phones are dead and you can't communicate. Where do you go? Most people pick the Empire State Building. It's iconic. It's a natural choice. That's a Nash equilibrium. You go there because you expect them to, and they expect you to expect them to. Neither wants to switch. In business, this explains price wars. If two streaming services like Netflix and Hulu both charge $10, neither gains by hiking to $15. They'd lose subscribers, or drop into $5. They'd lose money. They're stuck at $10, a Nash equilibrium where everyone's move is best given the others. The authors give you 3 rules to navigate these games. Use dominant strategies. If one move is always best, like snitching in The Prisoner's Dilemma, go for it. Eliminate dumb moves. If one strategy's always worse than another, ditch it. Find the equilibrium. Look for choices where nobody wants to change, assuming others stay put. This is your crystal ball for strategy. Planning a product launch? Guess where competitors will price their stuff and find the sweet spot. Going on a date? Pick a spot you both vibe with, like a trendy cafe, and you're set. Nash equilibrium's your guide to stability in a beautiful, brainy way. Part 2. Leveling up your strategy. What do rock, paper, scissors, and a tennis match have in common? Randomness. Chapter 5 is all about mixed strategies. When you shake up your moves to keep opponents guessing. Picture your Novak Djokovic serving in a high-stakes match. If you always hit to the right, your opponent will read you like a book and slam you. So, you randomize left, right, left, keeping them off balance. The book shows how to calculate the perfect mix, like serving 60% to the right to maximize aces while minimizing returns. It's like spinning a roulette wheel, but you're the odds. This works in life too. Say you're a retailer like Target. If you always discount the same items, competitors like Amazon will match you every time. So, you mix it up. Random sales, flash deals, surprise bundles to keep them guessing. Or in a negotiation, you might throw in a wild card, like an unexpected concession, to disrupt their plan. The authors also dive into probability, showing how to weigh risks like a pro. Imagine bidding on a vintage guitar at auction. You value it $500, but others are bidding too. By calculating expected payoffs, your chance of winning versus overpaying, you decide how much to bid. This chapter's your toolkit for handling uncertainty, turning chance into your ally. What if you could rewrite the game's rules of the game? Chapter 6 is about strategic moves, commitments, threats, and promises that tilt the board in your favor. Let's go back to Hernán Cortés, the 16th century conqueror. When he landed in Mexico, he didn't just rally his troops, he burned his ships. No way back. His crew had to fight or die, and that raw commitment spooked their enemies into surrender. It's like betting your house in poker, bold and terrifyingly effective. Or imagine you're a small business owner, and a big box store threatens to tier market. You sign an exclusive deal with a key supplier, locking them out. That's a commitment move, like saying, I'm all in here. Threats work too. A union might say, pay us fairly, or we walk. But it's got to be believable. Empty threats are just hot air. Promises are the softer side. If you're a software company, offer a free upgrade if your app crashes. It shows confidence and wins trust. The authors show how to craft these moves, like using contracts or public statements to lock yourself in. Next time you're in a deal, think, what move can I make to change their game? You've made a big promise or threat. Promise. But why should anyone buy it? Chapter 7 is all about credibility, making sure your moves mean something. Think of the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, when President Kennedy told the Soviets to remove their nukes from Cuba. He didn't just talk tough. He moved battleships, raised alerts, and prepped for action. Those moves said, I'm not bluffing. The Soviets backed down, and crisis averted. That's credibility, backing words with proof. You can do this in your life. Want to stick to a New Year's resolution? Tell your friends you'll pay $500 to a cause you despise if you fail. Public stakes make you unstoppable. In a business, a company like Apple offers a 14-day return policy because it signals quality. Only a confident brand can afford it. The authors warn, credibility isn't cheap. Overcommit, and you're stuck like a general who burns too many bridges too many. Use tools like reputation, contracts, or even escalation, like slowly raising stakes, to in a standoff to show you mean business. Credibility's your trump card. Play it wisely. Part 3. Strategy in action. Information's the lifeblood of strategy, but it's a minefield. Chapter 8 shows you how to read the signals others send and send your own signals. Ever shop for a used car and feared it's a clunker? That's because sellers know more than you. An info gap called asymmetric information. Smart buyers screen. They demand test drives or mechanic checks. Sellers signal quality with warranties, because only good cars can afford the risk. This plays out in your life. A college degree signals to employers you're capable, because it's tougher for less able folks to earn. Or if you're launching a Kickstarter, a slick prototype screams, we're for real. The authors dive into Michael Spence's signaling model, showing how costly signals, like a peacock's tail, prove your worth. There's also the winner's curse. In auctions, the highest bidder often overpays because they misjudge the value. Think of oil companies bidding on drilling rights. They might win but lose if the field's dry. The trick? Bid conservatively and dig for data. Next time you're in a deal, ask, what's the signal and what's the noise? Sometimes strategy isn't about crushing. It's about syncing up. Chapter 9 explores coordination games, where everyone wins if you align. Picture two hunters chasing a stag, a huge prize, but it takes both to catch it. If one bails to grab a hare, you both get scraps. This is why QWERTY keyboards dominate. Everyone uses it, so switching to a better layout's a pain. In business, this is like tech firms agreeing on USB-C ports. It's not perfect, but works because everyone's on board. Or think of TikTok challenges. One creator starts a dance, millions join, and it's a cultural moment. Coordination in action. The authors say to align, use focal points, like obvious choices, or communicate clearly. Ever picked a meetup spot because it feels right? That's a focal point. In your team project, set a clear goal to rally everyone. Coordination's your key to teamwork triumphs. Auctions are strategy arenas. And Chapter 10 is your guide to bidding like a pro. There are two main types. First price, where the highest bidder pays their bid, and second price, where you bid the second highest amount. In a second price auction, like eBay, bid your true value. Say, $200 for a vintage jacket, because you'll pay the next guy's bid like $180. It's a mind bend, but brilliant. In first price auctions, you shade your bid to avoid overpaying, like offering $150 for that $200 jacket to stay safe. The authors share stories like the 1990s telecom auctions, where firms bid billions for Spectrum licenses, sometimes regretting it due to the winner's curse. In life, You bidding all the time. Time for jobs, deals, or even a Black Friday sale. The book's tips: know your value, your research, and don't let adrenaline jack you up. Bid smart, and you'll win without buyer's remorse. Bargaining's where strategy gets personal. Chapter 11 shows you how to split the pie, money, time, or glory without a brawl. Take the ultimatum game. You split $100, offering $30 to someone else. They can accept or reject it. Offer $1, and they might reject it out of spite, even if it costs them. Fairness matters. People aren't robots. In real life, this is like splitting a group dinner bill. Offer too little, and you're the cheapskate. The authors say, be patient and credible. In multi-round bargaining, like a car deal, the one who can wait gets more. Or commit, like saying, this is my final offer, but mean it. Think of labor strikes. Unions hold firm to win bigger wages. Next negotiation, balance tough and fair to take the pie. Voting's a strategic game, and Chapter 12 shows you how to play it. In the 2000 U.S. election, Nader voters wanted Gore, but got Bush because they didn't vote strategically. Smart voters pick the lesser evil to block the worst outcome. The authors dive into the Condorcet paradox, where preferences loop. A beats B, B beats C, C beats showing no voting system's perfect. In your life, voting's everywhere. Everywhere. Elections, team leaders, or even picking a movie night flick. Think, how will others vote? And how can my choice tip the scale? Strategic voting's your power to shape outcomes. Want to get people moving? Chapter 13 is about incentives, making others do what you want. Think sales bonuses. A 15% commission per deal lights a fire under reps, but misalign incentives, like paying for speed over quality, and you get shoddy work. The authors talk principal-agent problems, like bosses, principals, motivating workers, agents. In life, this is paying your team for A's or rewarding a coworker for teamwork. The book says, tie rewards to goals and monitor just enough to keep it honest. Design incentives right, and you'll have everyone charging toward your vision. Chapter 14 ties it all together with case studies, real-world puzzles where you apply every trick in the book. One case has you navigating a corporate takeover, balancing bids and signals to win the company without overpaying. Another puts you in a labor strike, using threats and bargaining to secure a deal. Or picture forming a tech alliance, blending competition and cooperation, like Apple and Samsung sharing patents while duking it out in stores. These cases are your training ground, like a strategy gym. They show you how to mix backward reasoning, equilibrium, and credibility to tackle any challenge. Try one. Next time you're in a tough spot, ask, what would Dixit and Nalebuff do? Conclusion. We've just unpacked The Art of Strategy, a book that's like a Swiss Army knife for life's toughest games. From Richard Hatch's Survivor Genius to Buffett's billion-dollar trap, we've seen how game theory turns chaos into opportunity. You've got the tools now: backward reasoning, Nash equilibrium, credible moves, and more to outsmart rivals, build alliances, and win big. Here's your mission. Take one strategy from today, maybe randomizing your moves or crafting a killer incentive, and test it this week. Negotiate that deal, win that argument, or finally get your dog to stop chewing your shoes. Strategy isn't about being cutthroat. It's about thinking sharper. If this audiobook lit you up, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more epic summaries. Drop a comment. Which strategy blew your mind? Want the full book? Grab The Art of Strategy. It's a total game changer. Thanks for joining me. And until next time, keep playing smart.